How are you all doing? So eagerly waiting for the second module because I just started the story and left a lot of mystery for all of you. What happened? Who are these friends? Or maybe, I am sure, I know my students. So all of you must have browsed about the Three Musketeers and many of you must have seen the movie. Huh? All these things happened, right? So what is the story that we are doing? It's an extract from the actual original novel, The Three Musketeers and Attignan, written by Alexander Dumas. Alexander Dumas is a French writer. He was a French writer. Okay, he was very popular for what? Do you all remember? He was popular for which two novels? One, The Three Musketeers, and the second is The Carl of Monte Cristo. Many of you must have read this book. Maybe a small extract must have come to you in your primary classes because it's about treasure hunt. Fine. So what else did we discuss about this in our previous module? If you remember. Do you remember? You don't remember? Okay. I will just quickly give you a recap. Before that, this is Vidya joining you for your second module on the story The Three Musketeers and Attignan, written by Alexander Dumas. Alexander Dumas, his period was 1802 to 1870. Okay, this particular book, The Three Musketeers, was published in the year 1844. Okay, and it was translated into many languages because of the love that it has got from the readers across the globe. Clear? Right. Now let's look into the story. So we have understood that there are four important characters in the story. One is Athos, Porthos, Aramis or Hermes, then Attignan, Monsieur de Travelay or Travel, Usiac, and then other guards. Okay, these are the important characters that we have in this particular prose part. So, in yesterday's class, we have understood that what is a musket, who is a musketeer, and what was happening during that time, and why did Attignan come to Paris. Okay, why did he come? What did I say? Do you remember? He came to Paris to meet Monsieur de Travelay so that he can be part of the French army, right? So he wanted to take part in that and he wanted to become a musketeer. Fine. And but while he was coming to Paris, on his way, there was an attack on him, and during that attack, what happened? He lost the paper which is given by his father to give it to de Travelay. So he lost that paper. He tried to chase that man. When he was chasing, it so happened that he accidentally hit or accidentally hurt the already injured Athos, who was sitting in a convent, right? So that time what happened? Athos and Hermes, his best friends, came there, and all three of them argued with Attignan, and they were not at all agreeing with one another. So they finally decided to have a duel. Right? A duel is nothing but a fight. So now we are going to see what will happen in the fight. They are going to have a duel, a sword fight. We discussed yesterday. Yes? Do you remember? Right. So page number 48. Okay, page number 48. Are you all ready? Fine. Listen to me. Athos, who is suffering from a wound, is sitting in the convent and waiting for Antignon with his hat in hand, the feather touching the ground. Antignon enters and walks towards Athos. Athos, Monsieur, I have engaged 2 of my friends as seconds, but these 2 friends have not yet come, at which I am astonished, as it is not at all like them. Okay, so now they are about to have a fight. So for fight, as I told you in my previous module, you need a partner. So this man Athos, because he has 2 good friends, he has arranged 2 of them for the fight. But they did not come there till then, about which he says he is astonished. He is surprised that why they did not come till then. Okay. So this word monsieur will be used all the time. Monsieur is nothing but Mr. or Sir in French. Okay. Right. Now Antignon speaks. I have no seconds on my part, monsieur, for having arrived only yesterday in Paris. I do not know anyone but Monsieur de Travel, to whom I was recommended by my father. So, what did Antignon say? Even I do not have any second, right? Seconds is nothing but a partner in the fight, I told you. Okay, so he is also not having any partner to fight with, because to help him in the fight, because he just came to Paris and he was supposed to meet Monsieur de Travel, but he couldn't meet him yesterday. So he doesn't know anybody. Now Athos says, you know no one but Monsieur de Travel? Okay, you don't know anybody other than him? Is questioning. Antignon, yes, monsieur, I know only him, he says. Athos, well, then if I kill you, I shall be known as one who killed a helpless boy. So, now in the fight, in the duel, if at all you die, then people will call me a person who killed a helpless man. Says whom? Who is saying this? Athos. Okay. Now, the complete story is like a dialogue. One person, Athos, is speaking, then Antignon is speaking. Can you see the text? So it's like that. So one after the other. They are speaking like this. Okay. Now, Antignon says that no, not too much. Since you do me the honor of drawing a sword with me while suffering from a wound, which is very inconvenient. No, don't feel that way, because you will. I also take the honor of what? Drawing the sword. Drawing the sword is nothing but to fight with you, and not just how are you, in what condition are you. This man is already injured, right? So which is actually a very inconvenient thing for you to fight with one arm injury, right? Says Antignon. Athos, very inconvenient upon my word, but I will take the left hand. It is my custom in such circumstances. Do not think that I do you a favor. I can use both hands with ease, and it will be more of a disadvantage to you. A left-handed man is very troublesome to people who are not prepared for it. I regret I did not inform you sooner of this circumstance. Now what did Athos say? He says that Athos says that, okay, so you feel it is inconvenient, but it's just a word, because for you it is actually very troublesome, because I am going to fight with my left hand, and which is actually a custom. This is how we do it when we go for the fight for the king, right? So whenever one arm is injured, we'll go with the other hand. Now I'm going to fight with my left hand, which will be inconvenient for the opposite person. You will find it if you are unprepared. So maybe you must excuse me for this now, he says. Antignon, you have truly, monsieur, a courtesy for which I assure you. This man says, yes, thank you so much. Courtesy means manners. You have informed me before. So thank you for that. Okay. I assure you, I am very grateful. The man, Antignon, says he is very much like a gentleman. He says that, thank you for telling me this before itself. I am grateful to you. Athos speaks. You confuse me. Let us talk of something else. So Athos is confused with his manners. Is he making fun of me or is he really speaking? Athos is not able to get him. So now he says, let's talk something else, if you please. Here is one of them, I believe. So Athos says, see, I have somebody now. Porthos enter. Okay, so when they were talking to each other, who came? Porthos. Antignon, what? Is your first witness Monsieur Porthos? Now he is surprised to see Porthos there. So is the second person that you are talking to other than you is Porthos, Monsieur Porthos. Athos, yes. Does that disturb you? So Athos is asking, so are you troubled after knowing this? Are you disturbed? Are you afraid? Is asking. Antignon by no means says, by no means. No, by no means. I am not bothered. I am not worried. I am not disturbed, says. And then when they are talking, one more person enters. That is, who is that? Aramis. Okay. Aramis enters there. R may be silent, I guess. Aramis enters there. Here is the second. Antignon turns in the direction which Athos points and sees Aramis or Amis. What? Your second witness is Monsieur Aramis. Okay, Aramis. Doubtless, Athos says. Are you not aware that we are never seen one without the other? And that we are called among the musketeers and the guards at court and in the city, Athos, Porthos, and Aramis or Amis are the three inseparables. What are we three people called? We three are called the three inseparables. Inseparables means they cannot be separated. Okay, they are so close to one another. Well, as you come from Dax or Pau. So he mentions two places in France, Dax and Pau. Pronunciation may vary because it's a proper noun. So you have just now come from that place, that village. Maybe you do not know about this. Otherwise, you must have known that whenever one of us is there, the other two are already present, because we are not separable. So we are inseparable. We are called inseparable. Antignon. Okay, not from Dax or Pau, but I come from Tarbes. Tarbes is another village name. Okay. Athos. It is probable you are ignorant of this little fact. Maybe, because you come from a village, so it is probable that you are ignorant. Maybe you don't have the knowledge of this particular fact, that we three are always together. In the meantime, Porthos has come up and looks quite astonished to see Antignon. So, now when they are talking to each other, who came there? Porthos was observing this man Antignon and he is astonished. What does this mean? So Porthos is speaking and he has a gesture. What does he say? What does this mean? Athos pointing to Antignon with his hand and saluting him with the same gesture. This is the gentleman I am going to fight with. So he says, okay, now see, and he's also saluting and says, this is the man I'm going to fight with. Porthos, why is it with him I am also going to fight? So he is also asking. So am I going to fight with the same person? Okay. Attignon, but not before 1 o'clock. So he gives a time for Porthos. That is, he's not going to fight with him before 1 o'clock. Aramis, he says, but I am going to fight with the same gentleman as well. So the third person in these three says, I am going to fight with the same person as well. Attignon, but not until 2. So each of them are given 1 hour time. Okay, after 2 o'clock only you can fight with me. Now Aramis is asking, but what are you going to fight about, Athos? Athos speaks, well, I don't very well know. He hurt my shoulder. And you, Porthos? So what is the reason for the fight? He's asking. I really don't know why am I fighting, but maybe because he has hurt my shoulder. Now Athos is asking Porthos, what is your reason? I am going to fight because I am going to fight. So this man has no other solid reason for the fight. He's just supporting his friend and he likes to fight. That's it. And Attignon, smiling, says, we had a short discussion upon dress. So he is trying to give reasons for the fight. So we had a discussion about the dress. Athos, and you, Aramis? Okay, so and he now is asking Aramis, what is your reason to fight with this man? Making a sign to Attignon to keep secret the cause of their duel. Ours is a theological quarrel. So he is telling, keep it secret. What is our reason for the fight? It is a theological quarrel. What is theological? Related to religious belief. So the word theological means something related to the religion. So they had a fight between maybe the Christians, something related to the books related to that. He's just giving such an excuse. Fine. Then Attignon, yes, a passage of Saint Augustine upon which we could not agree. So this smart man immediately comes up with an answer saying, yeah, it's about Saint Augustine, a passage from the book Saint Augustine. Okay, we couldn't agree with one another, so that's why we are going to fight, says Athos. Decidedly, this is a clever fellow. Okay, now Athos is trying to predict this man, trying to understand Attignon. Okay, why did he say that he is a clever fellow? Because he has an answer to everybody and he is not trying to run away from the fight. He wants to fight, and whatever these people are giving a reason, he is agreeing and he is coming with an answer as well. So he is a clever fellow. Okay, Attignon now. And now that you are assembled, gentlemen, permit me to offer you my apologies. At the word apologies, Athos looks angry. Porthos gives a haughty smile and Aramis shakes his head. Okay, so now all of them are getting ready. What are they getting ready for? Duels, right? Yeah. Attignon, you do not, now Attignon is speaking, you do not understand me, gentlemen. I asked you to be excused in case I should not be able to keep my word to all three of you. For Monsieur Athos has right to kill me first, then Monsieur Porthos, and then Monsieur Aramis or Aramis. And now, gentlemen, I repeat, excuse me, but on that account only and on guard. So he says, excuse me. When I say excuse me and when I am submitting my apologies, they all three of them thought, what is this man saying now? Now we are all ready to fight. Is he running away? They all had a that kind of a gesture in their expression in the body. So immediately Atignon says, no, it's not that. But I'm just telling that first I'm going to fight with Orthos, then with Porthos, and then with Aramis. So if I get killed in the first person itself, that's a different story. Okay, so and he will be in the proper dress as well. Okay, he'll cover himself with a proper shield and all of that. Okay, so just then what happens? At these words, with a gallant air, Artagnan draws his sword. So he takes his sword. So the sword is inside and now he has opened his sword. Okay, right. Artagnan draws his sword. It is 1/4 midday. The sun is in its zenith and the spot chosen for the scene of the duel has no shade at all. Okay, now is the time for the duel. So they are all ready with their swords to fight. The swords are usually much longer than this. Okay, they're getting ready. What is the time then? It is 1/4 midday. Did you guess the time? 1/4 midday means midday. And the sun is at the zenith, means top of the sky, at the center. Midday is 12. Quarter is 1/4, right? That is 12:15 in the afternoon. Fine. Yes. So they are talking about that time, and the part that they have, the place that they have chosen for the fight has no shade at all. So it is very hot and sunny. So here we stop and continue this in the next module. Fine. I know it is very interesting for all of you and you will be waiting for the next module. Before I close the session, let's talk about the vocabulary once. So far we have seen few words. One, ambition. Ambition is nothing but a strong desire to do, or what is that? To achieve something. Yes. And the second one is, okay, wait. The second one is bumps. So this man suddenly bumps into, I told you, no? The meaning, because it's an action, it's a verb. So knocks or runs into someone or something with a jolt. They suddenly came there. And the third one is astonished. Astonished means greatly surprised or impressed. Amazed also you can say. Okay, yesterday I gave you this homework. What is the homework that I have given you? To collect names of 5 sword fight stories. I hope you all have done it. Right, in this particular story, in this particular module, you have seen that 3 of them are getting ready for a duel, which means a fight, a sword fight. They don't have a strong, solid reason to fight, but they're still going to fight. Okay, and you have understood that all 3 of them are good friends. Okay, so we'll continue this in the next part. So before we go to that, what is today's homework? What are you going to do? So what is that I want to give you is, so write about your conversation with your friend, a dialogue. Okay, a dialogue with your friend of the movie Bahubali, which you have seen, and especially the first part, final war is there, right? So at that time, how was the war? How did you like it? What you didn't like? Yeah, after watching the movie, what did you discuss with your friend? Try to put it in a small dialogue. So your name, your friend's name, you bring there and complete that one scene. Only you are talking about only the last fight of part 1 of Bahubali. Okay, it will be interesting for you to do it. Fine. As well as I'll be sending a worksheet, so you can complete the worksheet as well. Fine. Thank you, dear students.